Hey everyone, this is Tuesday, June 28, 2022, the Hindu Delhi edition. As usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news, followed by a detailed analysis of the same. But before going forward, let's find out the answer to yesterday's question and get the question for today. Okay? So, yesterday, the two things to identify were number one, Caucasus Mountains, and second was Pennine Mountains, right? And both of them are in Europe. Okay, so I'll give you the location for them. Let me make a map of Europe. Let's better do it this way. Okay, so this is Mediterranean Sea, Kara Canal, Black Sea, and Caspian Sea. This is something like this. I'm not going on scale, but it's something like this. So the mountains, this is your here. Okay, this is your Caucasus Mountain. Okay, so it joins what, Black Sea with and Caspian Sea. Okay, it actually do not join. It must be written between Caspian Sea and Black Sea, right? And where is this one? This Pennine Mountains. Look, here is your British Isles. Okay, so in the middle of it lies your Pennine Mountains. Which color should I use? Let me use this yellow. Okay, so here is your somewhere in between. Okay, let me make a bigger map for you. It's something like this. The island is something like this. Okay, the British Isles. So it is here you have your this mountain. Okay, this is your Pennine Mountain. And what is this is also a coal field. Okay, so remember this thing, based on this coal field only industrial revolution was taking place in the first stage of what IR took place. Okay, so this is the thing. Fine. So for today, let me write down the question. So today is your 28/6/22. The question is identify Himadri, Himachal and Shivalik ranges. Okay, we are going very easy questions for very easy questions right now. With time we'll make it more tough, but right now it is this only. You identify and write and comment it down. Okay, comment it down. I'll tell you the answer tomorrow. So let's go and see what are the possible important news. Okay, so Yashwant Sinha, okay, file Gehlot BRAP pilot placed down CM now. World Bank approved to, okay, this is important. World Bank has approved $250 million loan for Indian road safety. Okay, SC give breather not required. Okay, Veer quick tire come ahead of US Park meet. We'll just see the infographic. Okay, Karnataka to take 8 changes in textbook not required. All teams co-founder health for 4 years. Old Twitter post. Would arrest Marathi actor MBA government Thursday. Okay. Then India gig workforce this is important because it is related to labor sector and it is given by NITI. PM invite G7 to invest in clean energy. Obviously, we'll have to see this. What are his viewpoint regarding this? Okay. I don't Talake Hassan SC6 police husband reply. Okay, so Talake Hassan is the second type of divorce. One was Talake Biddat, which was struck down by the court, and now they have gone for proper Talake Hassan. But remember one thing: Talake Hassan is legally recognized in most of the Muslim Islamic countries, right? Okay, Ruckus in Bihar Assembly over Agnipath adjournment motion. Okay. Fine. Justice Sanghi bids adieu to Delhi High Court. Okay. PAC chairman, Public Account Committee in West Bengal not required. Okay. Okay, from Andhra Pradesh. We'll see this very briefly. Okay, musical boost for Tibetan Carpet in Arunachal. Okay, Kerala Assembly witness. Raucous not required. State freebies and the cost of fiscal profligacy that can make waiver is falling compelling. And who is this person? Oh my god, he is the finance secretary as well as this is a very important article. Just mind it. Interim signal, BJP not required. Complicated, volatile. The description of Israeli politics. Okay. One, if you want, you can read it to understand the Israel situation. I'll see if time permits, then I'll go for it. From higher to higher education. Oh my god, what a very beautiful keyword to write in the examination. Profit entities. Okay, Modi to summit. UAE trumps G7. Okay, so this is India UAE. We will do it very briefly. Sajid Mir conviction in Pakistan. Okay, we'll do the gist. Again, this Sterlite copper plant in Thoothukudi. You know where is this Thoothukudi? See, this is India. Something like this. Here is your Thoothukudi. Remember this place. This is in news a lot of time. Okay. Is mere editor for MMA. We'll do this. Support of 14 opposition party, but for AAP and JJM 5 nominations. Okay. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here. PM is helping friends to become rich, says Rahul, and they have helped their sister brother-in-law to become rich. What about that? Okay, so Rahul wants to finish Ops Sena, rebel MLAs. Junior Thakre takes up the task to avoid split. Okay. What is? Patol urges governor to call assembly session. Okay. Sikar in Rajasthan top school grading index at district level. Very good. CGS team goes extra mile to save elderly Lankan couple. Very good. Okay. India Malaysia discusses defense ties. Important. 250 million loan. Important. Small saving rate. Center may raise. Inside rising GC. Okay, we'll do it very briefly. Flash low on outflow of foreign fund. That was expected. Discuss state compensation. Okay, may discuss in phases. Fine. Okay. G7. Vow support for Kyiv as long as it takes. Fine. NATO to raise response force from 40,000 to 3 lakh troops. Okay, presses on with Brexit to rewrite. Okay, Indian origin man gunned down in US. Okay, so we have identified the most important news. Now let's go directly and analyze the same. Okay, so we'll see who is this Sajid Mir. Deputy Chief of International Operations of Lashkar-e-Taiba. First thing is this. Second thing, recruited terrorists for okay, 26/11 attack, guided attack over telephone. Okay, and directly ordered killing. Wanted for involvement in terror recruitment and financing cases in France, Australia, Denmark, and United States. Declared dead by Pakistani officials in December 2021, but arrested in 2022, convicted and sentenced in 2022 May. Okay. So, why has he been sentenced in such a quick trial? I think just came 3 days before the meeting. Okay, where they discussed Pakistan grey listing. Okay, fine. So this is the thing. Okay, now let's see this one. India gig for workforce to reach 2.3 crores by 2030, says Niti Aayog. social security, work accident insurance, among other recommendations. Yes, this is important. Has recommended steps to provide social security including paid leaves, occupational disease and accidental insurance. Okay, 2.35 crores by 2030. According to the study, number of gig workers is estimated to be 77 lakh in 2021. India requires a framework that balances the flexibility offered by the platform while also ensures social security. Okay, because they fall outside the purview of traditional dichotomy of formal and informal labor. More medium skill jobs. Okay. Wait, into platform and non-platform. So broadly classified gigs into these things. While platform workers are those who work in based on the line software applications or digital platform. Non-platform workers generally are cause worker and own account worker in conventional sector working part-time or full-time. The report noted that at present about 47% of gig work is medium skill job and about 22% is high skill job and about 30 to 1% is low skill job, and trend shows that the concentration of worker in medium skill job is declining and that of low skilled and high skilled is increasing. Means we can have a graph like this. Look, this is the axis. So let's take this color. So right now we have what we have, where it is based on software skill jobs. Okay, 47% is medium skill, 50% medium skill, 20% high skill and 30% low skill. So 50, 20 and 30. 20 high skill. Okay, 30, 50 and 20. 30, 50, 20. Low, medium, high. And by what will happen? This will increase from 30 to something else. This will decrease from 50 to something else, and this is also increasing. So it is explained low, medium, high. This is 30 plus, this is 50 minus, this is 20 plus. So this is present, this is expected. Fine. Now how to use this in the paper? Very simple. You just have to write when you are talking about gig workers. Okay. So need for social security and insurance. It will be why? Because of these trends. Fine. And this is percentage. Now also percentage will increase as the universe is increasing. Not this universe, the universe that I am talking about. Okay. Fine. Okay. To form 6.7% of non-agricultural workforce, 4.1% of total livelihood workforce in India. Fine. And initiative like Platform India initiative and Startup India initiatives are very important here. PM invites G7 nations to invest in clean energy. Access to energy should not be privilege of rich, and the poor also should have equal right to energy. At G7 meeting, he said that clean energy sector has emerged as a major domain for India and developed economies. All of will agree that energy access should not be privilege of rich only. The poor family also has the same right, and today when energy costs are sky high due to geopolitical tensions, it is more important to remember this. Mr. Modi said at a session, investing in a better future, climate, health and energy. India along with South Africa, Indonesia, Argentina and Senegal is a guest at G7 summit. Okay, so we are a guest. So let's move to next page. Okay, we have a news here. Tamil Nadu asked Andhra Pradesh to suspend supply of Krishna water from July 1. So you first tell me where is this Krishna? So I'll make a map for you. Okay, so this is your peninsular India more or less. Okay, this is your Godavari and this is your Krishna. So this is Krishna river, very important river. Okay, this one is your Krishna Godavari basin. Okay, you have heard that thing, KG basin, where Reliance tried to get the petroleum or fuel out of it. That is the Krishna Godavari basin, KG basin. Okay. So why Tamil Nadu has asked to suspend the supply, and can it supply? The Water Resource Department has written to Andhra Pradesh government to suspend Krishna water supply from Kandaleru Reservoir from July 1 as 2 cities reservoirs are filled up. Okay, has received nearly 2.4 TMCFT, trillion cubic feet, something meter cubic feet, it is something like that, of Krishna water released from Kandaleru reservoir. Fine. On Monday, the entry point of Tamil Nadu on Kandaleru Pundi Canal at this place recorded 610 cubic feet per second. However, Department of Andhra Pradesh Authority to suspend the Krishna water release temporarily, as the state did not have facility to store any more water. Okay. Fine. So what is the problem? Exact problem is that, look, you have Kerala here, you have Tamil Nadu somewhat here like this, you have your Karnataka like this, okay, Andhra Pradesh somewhere like this. So this Krishna river water was being transferred to Tamil Nadu, okay, but due to limited storage facility, Tamil Nadu asked to stop transfer. So where will the extra water go? It will go to the basin and form delta and all those things, right? Okay. Let's see if any more news is on this page. No, you know we do editorial, text and context and op-ed page at last. Okay. So first let's see the most important news. Okay. India Malaysia discuss defense size. So how is this Malaysia coming in picture? Let's see. So both country to upgrade HADR operations. Okay. Now what is it? HADR? We'll see. In a video conference, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh highlighted the area in which Indian defense industry could assist Malaysia. Mr. Singh suggested a visit of senior officers from Malaysia to India to get first-hand experience of the product, stating that Malaysian minister expressed the need for including women personnel in peacekeeping mission. The military said both sides agreed to engage each other on this issue. It was also agreed to upgrade humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operation HADR. Okay, so remember this is also a keyword. HADR you must use in examination because it is used in international politics, so it is a known keyword. Okay, the two ministers also discussed about existing defense cooperation activities under the existing Malaysia-Indian defense cooperation meeting framework. The next MIDCOM is scheduled to be held in July. Okay, a wide range of issues will be discussed. Fine. And World Bank has approved to give $250 million loan to boost India road safety. Okay, to support Government of India road safety program for 7 states, under which single accident reporting number will be set up to better manage crash event. Indian state support program for road safety financed by World Bank will be implemented in state of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. The $250 million variable spread loan from international IBRD has maturity of 18 years, which grace period of 5.5 years. The project will also establish national harmonized cash database in order to analyze accident and use to construct better and safer roads. The project will also provide incentive to state to leverage private funding through public PPP for concession and pilot initiative. Okay, so this is a 18-year loan with a grace period of 5.5 years. So it is a long-term loan and it will be applicable to 9 states. Okay, road safety 7 states, not 9. Okay, 7 states. Mostly the Deccan states like Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and you have your Telangana in between. Some states of some bigger state like Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal will be there, Odisha will be there, right? So with this we have come to end of this page. Now let's see the next page. We had some news. Yes, here. Economist center may rise small saving rates. Okay, economist cites rising government security yield to which rates are linked as a reason for optimism. Okay, household could get some more relief this week as economists expect the center to raise the interest rate paid on a small savings scheme for July to September 2022 quarter, with yield on 10-year government security hitting 4-year high of 7.6% this month. The rate of interest in instrument like PPF and NSC is currently 7.1 and 6.8%. That has not been changed for 8 quarters since reduction was effected in first quarter of 21. Retail inflation is too had hovered over 7%. Look what it is saying. Net, or let me write it here. The your net interest rate is actual IR offered minus inflation, right? So initially inflation was what, 5%, 5.2. It was 5.2% as per budget in as per economic survey in 2021-22. Okay, 2021-22, and now it is hovering about 8%, little less than this percent, 7.6 or 7%. It is like this. 2022-23. Right now, tell me. Actual interest rate is given is 7.1%, right, for this one PPA. So 7.1% minus 5 point, say keep it 1% only, no? What is the problem? You have 2% of net interest rate available. So if you invest 100 rupees, you'll be getting 2%, 102 rupees worth of things, right? At the time of maturity, taken it to be 1 year, fine. Now after 1 year, you'll be getting 102 rupees, right? Now, what had happened now? Minus 7.6%. So it is minus 0.5%. So for 100 rupees now, you'll be getting 99.5 rupees only. Okay, so this is the loss. Therefore, this needs to rise. And this is why they are optimistic that it may rise, because else nobody will invest here. Rising the rate helped the government to reduce its reliance on market borrowings this year. Deposit rates rising. There are also chances of small saving rates being increased in upcoming review of July-September in line with the higher policy repo rate. Care rating relief economists told that. Okay, the government will announce the rate for next quarter, fine, on June 30, while the reserve. Okay, all other things are data. In view of the increase in GSEC yield in recent months, the excess of announced interest rate on SSI over the respective formula-based rate moderated to 9 to 18 basis point. Okay, fine. Same thing is that. Rupee test fresh low on outflow of foreign fund. N number of times we have seen that when foreign fund will outflow, rupee will depreciate. Okay, I'll tell you, because it leads to what? Dollar to rupees ratio is changes. Okay, why it changes? Dollar is going out, rupees remain same. So first there was $100 for 1 rupees, or say first there was $100 for 7,000 $100 for 7,000 rupees. Okay, and it becomes what? Or say there was 7,000 rupees for $100 in the economy, but dollar has outflown. So now there are 7,000 rupees for say $50. So what will be the ratio? So the exchange rate was 70, and now the new exchange rate is 140. You understand? So there is a depreciation. This is the thing, because dollar to rupees or rupees to dollar ratio changes. Fine, BSE and NSE will fall like that only. Okay, GST panel may discuss state compensation e-commerce norms. 28% tax for online games, casino, horse racing may get nod. Okay, so higher tax bracket here. GST is two-day meeting starting Tuesday, slated to discuss any issue, array of issue, including mechanism for compensating state for revenue loss. Already compensation tax has been raised till 25-26. Tax rate towards tweak in some items. Okay, and relaxed registration norms for small online suppliers for the council chairman. Okay, the GST council chairman, who is this? Union Finance Minister and comprising state counterparts, will also clear levying highest tax rate of 28% on online game, casino and horse racing. Okay, so this is the thing. When they will consider, we'll see it in a better way. Okay, no need to do everything right now, but just remember that they are thinking of imposing the highest tax on these goods. Okay, and then we have this world news page. Fine, so we have done this thing, identification as well as analysis of the most important news. Now let's see and analyze the editorial page. Okay, so the first editorial is states, freebies and cost of fiscal policy, profligacy. Let's see the meaning of this word profligacy. Reckless, extravagant or wasteful in use of resources. Okay, so wasteful use of resources is called profligacy. Okay, let me write it here. Wasteful use of resources. Let's see now. The need for instituting more effective checks that can make wayward state fall in line is compelling. During the planning last year and campaign ahead of the Punjab election, the Aam Aadmi Party promised a sum of 1,000 per month to every woman in the state. To drive home this generosity of promise, AAP leader and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal emphasized that under AAP Mission Punjab for 2022, if there were 3 adult women in a household, each would get 1,000. When questioned how Punjab is already reeling under heavy debt could afford this, Mr. Kejriwal said something to effect that if good management, money would not be a problem. Okay, so he talked about political marksmanship. Okay, growing freebie culture. Electoral promise of this kind raises several questions. Is borrowing and spending on freebies sustainable? Of course not. It is not sustainable. Borrowing and spending on freebies is sustainable. Is this the best possible use of public money? Of course not. They could have built infrastructure that would have generated more employment. What is the opportunity cost? What is the public? What is it that public are collectively giving up so much so that government can fund this payment? Should not there be some checks on how much they can spend on them? I am using Punjab to illustrate a point and by no means to suggest that it is unique. In fact, many states are pursuing privy culture, some more aggressively than Punjab. Ideal government should use borrowed money to invest in physical and social infrastructure that will generate higher growth, as I said just now, and thereby higher revenues in future so that the debt pays for itself. On the other hand, if government spends loan money on populist giveaway that generates no additional revenue, the growing debt burden will eventually implode and end in tears. Yes, this is true. Concerned by an increasing number of states that are embarking on this financially reunion path, senior bureaucrat reportedly flagged the issue at a meeting with Prime Minister, telling him that some states might go down the Sri Lankan way. There is an argument that this concern is being exaggerated. After all, if you look at any analysis of the state budget by Reserve Bank of India or anything like the inference you will draw is that state finances are in good and if indeed robust health, and that all of them are conforming to the FRBM targets. Okay, this is a misleading picture. Much of the borrowing that funds these freebies happens off budget. Okay, happens off budget. Fine. Beyond the pale of FRBM tracking, the typical modus operandi for states has been to borrow on books of their public enterprise, in some cases pledging future revenues by the state guarantee. Effectively, the burden of the debt is on state exchequer, albeit well concealed. The SCAG had in fact pointed out that in respect of some state, if extra budgetary borrowings are taken into account, the liabilities of the government are way above what is acknowledged in official books. Okay, how big is this problem? There is no comprehensive information in public domain to access the size of off-budget debt. Fair enough. But evidences suggest that it is comparable in size to the debt admitted in the budget book. Okay, means if 100 rupees that is admitted, then about what 100 rupees that is off budget. Oh my god, so much burden, debt burden. The obvious motivation for a state in expanding freebie is to use exchequer to build vote bank. A certain amount of spending on transfer payment to provide safety nets to the most vulnerable segment of the population is not only desirable but even necessary. Okay, this transfer payment which you receive for what you have to give nothing. Okay. The problem arises when such transfer payment becomes the main plank of discretionary expenditure. The spending is financed by debt and debt is concealed to circumvent the FRBM target. The more state spend on transfer payment, the less they have for spending on physical infrastructure, on social infrastructure, which can potentially improve the growth and generate jobs. The truth of Chinese saying, give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you will feed him for a lifetime, is self-evident to everyone, including politicians. But electoral calculations tend to place short-term gains ahead of long-term sustainability. Institutional checks and balances. What about institutional checks and balances that should prevent this downward spiral? Unfortunately, all of them have become ineffective. In theory, the first line of defense has to be legislature, in particular the opposition, whose responsibility is to keep government in line. But given the perils of our vigorous democracy, the opposition does not dare to speak up for fear of forfeiting vote bank that are at the end of the freebies. There is constitutional check in the CAG audit which should enforce transparency and accountability. In practice, it has lost its teeth since audit report necessarily come with a lag. Okay, so what is the problem with CAG? That audit report come with a lag. By one, political interest has typically shifted to other hot button issues. Besides, our bureaucracy has mastered the fine art of turning audit paras into files which run their course and die a quiet death. The market is another potential check. It can signal the health or otherwise of state finances by pricing the loan floated by different state government, differently reflective of their debt sustainability. But in practice, this too fails since market perceives all state borrowings as implicitly guaranteed by the center. Okay, so the market is another potential check. It can signal health or otherwise the state of the state finance of pricing the loans floated by different state government, differently reflecting their debt sustainability. Okay, so different state government will get loans at different conditions, which shows their debt sustainability. The more sustainable your debt is, the less conditional the loans will be. Okay, but in practice this too fails. Why? Because there is a clause in the constitution that central government, state government takes loan. Okay, then it may be it is also paid by the it can be paid by the central government. It is something like that. Since the market perceive all state borrowings as implicitly guaranteed by the center, never mind that there is no such guarantee in reality. Okay, that guarantee is for what? For international loans. I miscalculated that. The market is not talking about both domestic and international. In international market, yes, central guarantee is there, but in domestic market there is no central guarantee. Okay. The cost can be huge. The cost of fiscal profligacy at the state level can be huge. The amount of state borrow collectively every year is comparable in size to central borrowing, which implies that fiscal stance has to be much impact of that the fiscal stance has as much impact on our macroeconomic stability as does that of center. The need therefore for instituting more effective checks that can make way for wayward state fall in line is compelling. Here are two suggestions towards that end. First, FRBM Act of Center as well as state need to be amended to enforce more complete disclosure of liabilities on their exchequer. Even under the current FRBM provision, government are mandated to disclose their contingent liability, but that disclosure is restricted to liabilities for which they have extended an explicit guarantee. The provisions should be expanded to cover all liabilities whose service obligations falls on the budget or could potentially fall on the budget regardless of the guarantee. Second, the constitution states are required to make the center permission to take the center permission when they borrow. Okay, the constitution stay under the constitution. Okay, the center should not hesitate to impose conditionality on wayward state when it accords such permission. State slapped with conditionality will of course block and allege political motive. The challenge for center will be to act transparently and accordance with the well-defined objective, etc., etc. Finally, there is a draconian provision in the Constitution of India which allows President to declare financial emergency in any state if he is satisfied that financial stability is threatened. The Brahmastra has never been invoked so far for the fear that this will turn into political weapon of mass destruction, but provisions is there in the Constitution for a reason. After all, the root cause of fiscal irresponsibility is Lord of the electoral nirvana. It will stop only if political leadership fears punishment. It is therefore important for to ensure the prospects of financial emergency in case of gross and counting fiscal irresponsibility is just an abstract. There at but a realistic one. Disappointingly, the center itself has not been a beacon of virtue when it comes to fiscal responsibility and transparency. To its credit, it has embarked on course correction over the last few years. It should complete the task in order to command the moral authority and enforce good fiscal behavior. Okay, a very very enriching article, very good article, well written. I love these things. Okay, let's see. Higher education to higher education. Higher education is increasingly getting delivered by for-profit entities. Okay. Norms and standard for setting up of open universities. Okay, so what it wants to say? Just get a case study from this. That would be enough. Or let's see, from higher education to higher education. Okay. Study to vocation based. Example, BTechs, placement, very few, MTech, least, PhD. Okay. UAE trumps G7. So UAE was a bigger investor in India in 2021 than Germany and France combined. Okay. 2 summits this week. He is a special invitee to G7. After that, he has a bilateral summit at Abu Dhabi with President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan on June 28th. Second event as a side show, some statistics are enough to prove them wrong. If US is exempted, no G7 country comes close to UAE as India's trading partner. Yes. Export market, India's diaspora base, and the inward remittances. According to our foreign direct investment data, FDI, UAE invested more in India than Germany. Okay, unlike UAE, none of the G7 countries has yet signed a bilateral CEPA with India. Both summits are important to India, but unlike the interlocutors in the Bavarian Alps, our Prime Minister is unlikely to be factored in our bond not to buy oil from or how much Indian wheat and sugar must be sold. The agenda is likely to be more constructive and benign. Synergy. Currently, India-UAE synergy and military can be largely due to Prime Minister and Modi trending. This would be the 4th visit and 6th summit with Sheikh Mohammed over the past 7 years. These have re-energized this historical but long dormant relationship. Okay, You know how historical it is? It dates back to the time of Indus Valley civilization. It is so historical. The region was known as Dilmun. Okay, so from Emirati investment in Jammu and Kashmir to SEPA. Okay, in protocol term, Mr. Modi will be passing away of UAE. Will commemorate the passing away of UAE president. Okay, Sheikh Khafila. Okay, fine. These things are there. Let's see. Changes in the pandemic. Significant changes have been seen. Bilateral trade grew to 68% to about $70 billion. Okay. Thanks to the SEPA robust economic revival, higher oil price and larger Indian import trade is likely to grow even more. Okay. Fine. Let's see anything else. A complex area. Yes, this would be a good thing. Southwest Asian region is a complex and evolving area. UAE has disrupted the long-standing Arab-Israeli stalemate by normalizing relations with Israel. The two sides have recently signed bilateral SEPA after pursuing a muscular regional foreign policy against political Islam and in regional hotspots such as Syria, Yemen, Libya, Sudan, Somalia. Abu Dhabi seems to have decided to stage a phased withdrawal and improve ties with Syria, Qatar and Turkey. The ties with Saudi Arabia remain somewhat edgy due to policy divergence and economic competition. Similarly, Abu Dhabi has developed some ructions with Biden presidency in USA and is diversifying its strategic options with Russia and China. It is the conspicuously ignored the plea by US and other Western countries to raise its oil production. India, the UAE, second largest trading partner and largest source of tourists and manpower, can be useful ally. Against this ongoing regional and global flux, India-US UAE summit is both topical and opportune and can have an impact beyond bilateral context. Okay, just know this thing. Fine. Now text and context with. So Sajid Mir, let's see, the conviction of Mir described by US as mastermind behind the 2008 Mumbai terror attack is most significant action by Pakistan government against Mir. According to US Treasury, Mir trained and provided guidance to operatives involved in attack and directed the execution of hostages. Since 2018, Pakistan has been on their list. The conviction of Mir is a step forward in convincing FATF and its affiliated body that Pakistan is serious about addressing concerns. Fine. Okay, let's see the gist. On June 20, Vedanta Group put out an advertisement which said Sterlite Copper is up for sale. After company announced that it would be enhancing its capacity, large-scale protest started. A week later, Tamil Nadu government sealed the plant. Since the shutdown, India has shifted from being a large net exporter of refined copper to now being a net importer of copper. This is the thing that has happened. Fine. And let's see. When defection is mere a detour for an MLA. It is possible to avoid Karnataka-like incident if MLA jumping ships are disqualified for 6 years. Okay, let's see the gist first. The most prominent case of political defection was that of Haryana's Gayalal, originally an independent MLA who in 1967 juggled between Congress and Janata Party for 2 weeks. The recurrence of this phenomenon led to 1985 defection law, anti-defection law. The anti-defection law provides a safeguard for defection made on genuine ideological differences. It accepts a split within a party if at least 1/3 of the member of the legislative party defect and allowed the formation of a new party, or merger with other political party if not less than 2/3 of the party member commit to it. Okay, so two things: split and merger. A split for 1/3 and this is 2/3. Defection like these can only be stopped by extending the disqualification period from recontesting to at least 6 years. Okay. S.Y. Qureshi, I think he was the chief election commissioner, no? Yes. Former chief election commissioner of India. Undocumented was the making of India great Indian election. Okay. This is the elephant. Indian election is like an elephant, so big, so large, so enticing. Okay, the Supreme Court, after hearing rebel MLA faction leader Eknath Shinde's petition challenging the disqualification notice issued to him and 15 other rebel MLA, extended the deadline given to concerned MLA to file their responses. To the disqualification notice. In this article, S.Y. Qureshi explains how defecting MLAs need to be barred for at least 6 years before they can contest. They defected, recontested, became member again, all in 6 months. Some even likely to become ministers soon. Okay. So what happens? Defect, then recontest for that seat, become member again, and that too in a span of 6 months. Why? Because in 6 months, second election, a by-election should be held. Right? The Karnataka by-election results were widely put to display the ineffectiveness of anti-defection law. On the 17 defecting Congress Janata Dal MLA, 11 were re-elected on BJP ticket. Not only this, Not only did this seat of events lay down a well-structured framework to sidestep the law, it set a dangerous precedent for neutralizing the consequences of law altogether. The phenomenon of defection is not new to Indian politics. It has been plaguing the political landscape for over 5 decades. The most prominent case was Gayalal. Within 2 weeks, he switched the loyalty thrice. The recurrence of this evil phenomenon led to 1985 anti-defection law, which defined three grounds of defection and disqualification: giving up party membership, going against the whip, and abstaining from voting. So these are the 3 things. Very important point. Resignation is not a condition. Resignation as MLA was not one of the conditions. Exploiting this loophole, okay, the 17 rebel MLA in Karnataka resigned. The act aimed at ending the majority of ruling coalition and at same time avoiding disqualification. Okay. However, the speaker refused to accept the resignation and declared them disqualified. This was possible as legislation empowers the presiding officer of the House to decide complaints of defection under no time constraint. The law originally protected speaker's decision from judicial review. However, in Kihoto Holahan versus Jachi Chihu and other, while Supreme Court upheld the speaker's discretionary power, it underscored that the speaker functioned as a tribunal under anti-defection law, thereby making his or her decision subject to judicial review. This judgment enabled judiciary to become watchdog of the anti-defection law instead of a speaker, who increasingly has become a political character contrary to expected neutral constitutional role. The same could be witnessed in Srimant Bala Saheb Patel and others versus Speaker of Karnataka Legislative Assembly and others 2019, where 3-judge SC bench upheld that Karnataka Speaker decision to disqualify 17 rebel MLA. However, it struck down his ban on MLA from contesting election till 2023, neglecting the only possible punishment solution of the problem. The Supreme Court played the role of neutral umpire in the political slugfest, but a spectacle of MLA hoarded in a bus and being sent to a resort openly exposed not just to the absence of ideological tie between the leader and his party, but also his or her weak moral character. It was also upsetting to see public acceptance of such malpractices as part of politics, with some even calling it Chanakya Niti. Exit and swift return. The anti-defection law provided a safeguard for defection made on genuine ideological differences. It accepted a split within the party if at least 1/3 of the member of the legislative party defect. Okay? And allowed for formation of a new party or merger with other political party if not less than 2/3 of the party member commit to it. The 91st Constitutional Amendment Act introduced in 2003 deleted the provision allowing split. So right now what is the provision? So para 3 was for split, which stands deleted, and para 4 is for merger, and merger requires 2/3 majority. The 91st Amendment also barred appointment of defectors as minister until the disqualification period is over or they are re-elected, whichever is earlier. So this is the provision, re-election provision, fine, re-elected. But obviously such laws have not put to rest the trend of defection. The main issue as witnessed in Karnataka is that defector treat disqualification as mere deter before they return to the house or government by recontesting. This can only be stopped by extending the disqualification period from contesting an appointment to chairmanship or ministry for at least 6 years. The minimum period limit of 6 years is needed to ensure that defectors are not allowed to enter the election fray for at least one election cycle, which is 5 years. Of course, MLA can still be bought from ruling dispensation to bring it to minority by being paid hefty sums simply to stay at home for 6 years. Almost every political outfit has been party to such devious games with hardly any political will to find a solution. Very, very, very good article. It explains so nicely what is this and how it goes, right? So what I'll explain you very briefly. Let me try to explain you. Look what happens. Why it is not scrolling up? Yes. What happens that defection, okay, is unwanted, but necessary on ideological grounds. Why it is necessary? Because humans are cultural beings as well. Okay, we are biological beings, but also we are cultural beings, right? So necessary on ideological ground, but unwanted. And this Gayaram case led to what? Led to anti-defection law in 1985, right? So it has 2 exceptions, 3 conditions of defection. One is either voted against. Look, here it is written: giving a party membership, going against the whip, that is voted against, or abstaining from voting. Okay, so I'll write it that thing only. giving up party membership, ठीक है, going against whip, and third is, so party membership given, going against the whip, and third is abstaining from voting, right? So you see note bartha, no provision for resignation. So if you resign, then there is nothing nothing that will call it as a defection. Okay, you resign on your personal grounds. Fine, you understand this? Now what will happen? And it also had two protections. Okay, paragraph 3, consider split, and split is what? 1/3 members go out to form a party, right? So this is split, and this is deleted via 91st Constitutional Amendment Act 2001 or 3. Let's see. Here it was 2003. Okay, not 1 but 3, 2003, right? And paragraph 4 deals with merger. 2/3 members go out and merge with other party. Okay, still remains. Now what happens? These two things are clear. So these are the conditions of this anti-defection bill. So no provision for resignation, and these three things are there. Now let's see what will happen. Say a minister, or not only minister, MLA resigns. Okay, then vacancy created, therefore election by polls, or therefore by election within 6 months needed. Okay, because constituency cannot remain unrepresented. Okay, disqualified on defection, again vacancy created, by elections within 6 months, or merger, then again a kind of vacancy. It is not vacancy. In case of merger, you will see that toppling of government, new government formation, leading to again new membership for the for the merger MLAs, right? So in every case, these MLAs are in profit, right? By election within 6 months, this MLA, say A, okay, A wins and comes back, as simple as that. So this is how it goes, you understand? So in every way they can topple the government if they have proper strength. Now what is happening in Maharashtra, that they are invoking this paragraph 4, that they have more than 2/3 of the strength with them, so it is better. So they can go for merger, and if they go for merger, then BJP can form a government there under Fadnavis ji, right? And Uddhav ji will have to resign. So it goes like this. A very important article. You cannot. I just cannot more emphasize how important this article is, right? Okay. So you make a note of it anyhow. Fine. So with this, we come to end of today's newspaper analysis. I hope that you like it. So before going back, I'll urge you to subscribe, like, comment, share, okay, the channel. So before parting a bye, you keep studying hard and follow your dreams. Okay, so it's time to say a goodbye all. Jai Hind. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also, keep studying hard, keep following your dreams, and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.